Happy new month. Happy new month and happy new month to everybody here, the traders, and of course, those that are looking into going into trading. We're back and we're talking about none other than the dollar, the USD index, the DXY, depending on the broker that you're using, to give you the USD in different formats. But jumping into this real quick, I'm just going to breeze in, breeze out. Uh, This is the daily time frame, right, for the USD index. So I'm going to show you what is happening. I hope this chart is not looking too messy. If it is, I might have to start removing some things so it doesn't look too clustered. I don't like too many things on my chart. As an example, this rectangle, I can get rid of it because what we're looking at has already occurred over here. So I could decide to take this out of the equation. And this one too has already happened a long time ago. And before price gets back to this level or even this level, of course, on the daily time frame, it's going to take a long period of time, right? So just to make it a bit cleaner, I've taken out some rectangles that had to, showing some levels of support or resistance or even flip zones, right? So I'm not going to take out the Fibonacci and I'm going to tell you why. So from the daily time frame, I'm going to show you what is happening now and what we should be expecting. Now, price is in the middle of this resistance and this support. Don't forget, whenever you look to the left-hand side, you should see some form of reactions. If you see some form of reactions, then you know, yes, indeed, that level is valid. Years ago, I struggled with how to identify support and resistance levels, supply demand, not until I started to look to the left-hand side. And once I started looking to the left-hand side, with experience, of course, the more you see, the more you understand, the more you understand, the more it sticks. And then I started to understand what was happening in the market just by looking at the left-hand side. Here, we said this is resistance. You can see what happened here. You can see resistance, some support, resistance. You can see some support over here. So always look to the left-hand side to give you some ideas. And that's why we also created the flip zone indicator. For those that have asked for the flip zone indicator, I'm going to get back to you shortly. You can still use the comment section to request again as a reminder. I'll get back to everybody. It's been a busy couple of days, stroke weeks. Um, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I'm working on something that would help everybody out, basically. Let me put it that way. And of course, AI is the next big thing. So it has to do with AI. So give me some time on that. Whenever that'll be, I'll let the cat out of the bag gradually. So now we said we have this as a form of support, right? And here resistance. Now, I don't want to go against this move. This is a move over here, which is to the upside. And this move obviously has been the move for this year. So that means that dollar has been strong this year, notwithstanding what has been happening in the past, like from 2025 especially, right? Because you can say that this up move for 2026 is a pullback, is a retracement of 2025's move, and then it might still tank and go all the way down. I don't know. I'm just going to be following price according to what it's doing. And it might decide to even push higher back to the highs of 2025. I still don't know. I'm just going to be following price. Now, based on where price is, as you can see, 101.12 area, it's in the middle of this resistance and support. So I am not doing anything. Today is Wednesday, July 1st, new month. I haven't taken any trade yet, and I'm not going to rush into it. Most traders are jumping into the market. Funny story. Last week, I saw a lot of posts here and there, people talking about, oh, gold did this. I was in heavy drawdown on gold. I was struggling with gold. And then I pulled up the chart for gold. I threw in my flippy indicator, and I saw that the levels that they were talking about were not real levels. They were not levels that you were even supposed to be placing trades. Like this one, it's in the middle of nowhere for the daily time frame that is. So I'm not going to pay attention to this, right? I'm going to show you something when we drop down to a lower time frame, like the hourly time frame shortly, so that you understand better. But the flipping indicator helps me not to rush into any market. And that is one of the biggest problems of traders today. They just jump in, rush in. They don't even know where to put their stop loss. They don't know where to put their take profit. If you are guilty of what I have just said, you can use the comment section and say, yes, I'm guilty of this. And then we would help you out. Trust me. So now, this is a level of support. Here also is the level of support, and of course, even lower, like the rectangle that we took out over here. From what I've drawn here, you can see some support, 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 some resistance, some support here, and so on. So I wouldn't want price to pull back here for me to take a buy position. Why? Because this is not a significant area enough for me. I'm not saying that it might not come back here and then push higher, but I would really, really, really prefer price to come back to 99.30. You know, we've been talking about 99.30 for a long time, and we were beginning to sound like a broken record. Now we've gone past it. We've even gone past the 150 that we're looking out for. So that means that according to what we're reading, it's making sense. It's doing according to, what we're expecting it to do, right? Now, I'll prefer price to come back here. Why? Because of the Fibonacci. If you are trading using Confluence, right, and you look closely, you notice what? You notice that this 99.30, it has Confluence with 38.2. I'd have really preferred 50 or 61.8. But first of all, 38.2. I would not want to place a trade at 100.50. No, right? But if things align on the lower time frame, yes, I will. But on this daily, I probably not. And that's why we need to understand the time frames and how we're looking at the time frames. I just told you now that on the daily time frame, it's in the middle of nowhere. I will not place any trade. But but if we cross over to the hourly time frame, you can see the hourly time frame has shown us a very strong up move, right? And of course, we can see that from the daily, right? Where price broke out of the 99.30 and then just pushed up to 100.50 and even broke it. So we've had a pretty bullish run up to here. And I can tell you this, right? I can tell you this for a fact that as we have this level here as resistance, right? Now, what I would like to see if I'm going to be a buyer, because you can see it's struggling with this area here on the hourly time frame. Don't forget the time frames that you're looking at matters a lot. It's struggling with this area here. If you look to the left, resistance, resistance, and some form of support here, right? And then he had this massive, of course, this was based on news. Check your calendar. I normally use Forex Factory, but check your calendar. You most likely see high impact news that just came out, right? And that's why you had this massive candle here. I'm not going to zoom in. I prefer looking at my charts this way. Because if you look at this candle, you can say it's a big candle. Big candles, big candles. So you need to train your eyes to see the big candles and then to see the little, 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 little candles, all these little small candles, right? I'm not interested for now, whether it's a pin bar or a hammer or a doji or engulfing. No, I like the big story, the major story, the full story, right? And then I can drop down and then look at the summary, right? But the big story, as it is zoomed, like this in this manner, is what I am after. And this has helped my eyes. And I'll continue to look at the market this way. So if I'm looking forward to buying, I would like price to break out of this resistance. Excuse me. I would like price to break out of this resistance and then come back and use this as a form of support and then push higher. If this is the case, I'll be looking forward to the DXY going bullish, maybe tomorrow. And then if this is the case also, Euro USD should be bearish, right? So you can always switch over to the Euro USD chart. And then the same thing, obviously in the opposite direction, we want price to break out of this support. Look to the left, look to the left, look to the left. Right? We want price to break out of this support, push up, act as resistance, and then we'll take a sell here and then take it further down. Now, please do a screenshot of this particular, chart for Euro USD or any of them or the USD index and come back, whether it's tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, or even the weekend, and let's see what happened, right? I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen, but you'll be blown away, like I was blown away years ago, as my analysis, simple analysis, started to come out according to what I had, analyzed, what I had predicted, because what we're doing is analysis. We're predicting. We're trying to use the information from the past, the history, to the present in order to predict what most likely is going to happen, right? So I'm going to be rounding up now. I don't know how many minutes I've taken, but it's still morning for me here, and I want to just go have some tea and then just relax. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay, guys, thank you and trade safely. Bye.